In the following video you're about to watch, a woman grabs her phone late at night, her voice already shaking, hands barely steady, because something just happened in the house she's lived in for nearly 5 decades and she needs someone else to see it. She was on the stairs when she heard it. A distinct click of a heavy metal latch, then a door swinging open on its own. Nobody else was home. She'd already tried calling her daughter, tried calling her mom, so she went downstairs to show exactly what she was dealing with.
It wasn't even that. That door was completely latched. I heard the latch click and then open. Listen. This. And then it just opened. And I was standing on that stair. So I was like, called my daughter, no answer. Called my mom, no answer. My mom is literally in bed. My daughter is literally in her apartment. This is like a farmer's latch, okay? Nobody can explain. I hope nobody followed me in the house and they're hiding behind the recliner or some shit. See how I latched it? Listen. Pull it hard. Latch. Go. Very bizarre. It's never happened in 47 years. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling.
Skeptics point to air pressure changes, warped frames, thermal expansion, the usual structural explanations for a door that shouldn't move, moving. But those are things that happen gradually, things that develop over time in an aging house, not things that announce themselves for the first time after nearly half a century of silence. The bells jingling as she reaches the top of the stairs don't help, and she ends the clip with 4 words. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling. There's a specific kind of fear in someone who knows their house completely and is standing in the middle of something that isn't it anymore. So what do you think? Did something in that house decide after 47 years that it was finally ready to be noticed? Or is there a structural explanation that only just now found the right conditions to surface? The following videos all come from the same home, and taken one by one, each clip might be easy to dismiss. But together they sketch a picture of a place where something has made itself comfortable, and whoever lives there is running out of explanations. It starts at night in what looks like a kitchen area. The person filming already unsettled enough that they've decided to leave the house entirely. They can sense something in the room. There's no visible movement in the frame, no shifting objects, nothing the eye can clearly lock onto. What the footage captures instead is harder to quantify, a stillness that doesn't read as empty, but as waiting, the kind of pressure in a dark room that makes staying feel like a bad idea. That specific feeling has a name in paranormal research: infrasound sensitivity, where low-frequency sound waves below the threshold of human hearing, produced by certain environmental conditions or by certain presences, trigger a physiological fear response in the body before the conscious mind has registered anything wrong. You feel it before you know why. Some viewers recognized it immediately, not from something they saw, but from something they'd felt themselves. The person filming felt it strongly enough to leave their own home. That's the first data point. The second clip comes from the same space, the person filming from a couch, claiming the chair across the room just moved while they were watching something on screen. The movement is subtle enough that skeptics will land on camera shake, and that's not an unreasonable position. But what's harder to fold into that explanation is the context. This is someone already frightened enough to document their own living room, sitting in the dark, filming a chair. That level of sustained fear in a familiar space doesn't usually come from nothing. In paranormal research, the period before physical activity becomes undeniable is often characterized by exactly this: a creeping, unshakable sense of being watched in rooms you've lived in for years, a wrongness you can't point to that starts making you film things you'd normally never think twice about. The chair may or may not have moved, but something in that room already had this person's full attention before it did. The third clip is where it gets harder to dismiss. The camera finds two black cats near a shelving unit, calm and unbothered, then pans toward a closed door at the end of the hallway, a sliver of warm light visible in the gap at the floor. At around the 20-second mark, a shadow crosses that gap fast, there and gone in under a second, briefly blocking the light before vanishing. A passing car throwing a shadow through a window in the adjacent room is the rational explanation, and it's worth taking seriously. But both cats shift their focused attention the moment it happens. Not startled, not reactive, just redirected, the way an animal looks when it has already been tracking something, and that something just moved. In folk traditions across dozens of cultures, and increasingly in serious paranormal research, cats are treated as reliable environmental indicators precisely because their sensory range extends well beyond ours. They hear frequencies we can't, they detect motion in near total darkness, and they don't perform anxiety for an audience. Whatever is on the other side of that door has had their attention for longer than the camera has been rolling. The fourth clip comes with audio, and it's the most physically active of the set. A man is already on edge before the camera settles, asking what a noise was, and then the blinds move. A sharp percussive clattering, the bottom section of the horizontal blinds lifting and dropping with no obvious cause, and his reaction out loud and immediate. Those just moved. Then the identical sound comes back. Same window, same movement, and he's done. Camera moving fast toward the exit. A PTAC unit sits directly below that window, and a strong draft is the first thing anyone reaches for. But a passive draft doesn't produce a sound that's sharp and localized, and it doesn't return to the exact same spot twice in quick succession, as if repeating itself for emphasis. In paranormal research, repeated physical contact with the same object in the same location is considered one of the stronger indicators of intelligent activity. A presence that isn't just displacing air, but is specifically choosing where to make itself felt, and choosing to do it again when the first time didn't produce enough of a reaction. Something kept coming back to that window. The fourth clip is the one that makes the earlier footage harder to explain away, because now there's something with force behind it. The fifth clip is daytime, and it's the one that stays with you longest. A black cat sits on the arm of the couch facing away from the camera, staring toward a wall. The camera pans down the hallway toward an open doorway, and lodged in the upper left corner of that doorframe is a dark, shapeless mass, solid black, irregularly shaped, completely still. It never moves. It never explains itself. The cat, visible again at the end of the pan, hasn't shifted, still locked onto the same part of the room it was focused on before the camera ever found that doorway. A piece of clothing pushed into a corner is the easy answer, and some viewers landed there immediately, but the position is wrong for something that was placed or fell there. Too high, too settled, occupying a corner of a door frame the way something would if it chose that spot, rather than ended up in it. In paranormal research, dark masses observed in doorways and threshold spaces are among the more commonly reported visual phenomena associated with an intelligent presence. Doorways specifically, because in virtually every cultural tradition that addresses this, thresholds carry significance, the boundary between one space and another being exactly where something that doesn't fully belong to either tends to position itself. The cat knew it was there before the camera did. Across 5 clips, same home, same cats, same dark corners. What starts as a feeling in a kitchen becomes a shadow under a door, becomes blind struck twice at the same window, becomes a shapeless mass in a door frame that the cat won't stop watching. In paranormal theory, that kind of progression across a single location points towards something that has been present long enough to move through the space with complete familiarity, something that started subtle and is incrementally deciding how much of itself to show. So what do you think? Is whatever is in that home becoming more comfortable with being seen, or has it always been this visible and nobody was paying close enough attention until now? The following videos were recorded inside the same home, a dark, cluttered space that already carries an uneasy energy before anything strange even happens. In the first clip, a man moves through the house in total darkness, the only light coming from whatever he's holding to record. He makes his way slowly into what appears to be a living area, a red sofa against the wall, a framed portrait of an older woman hanging above it, a baby's tricycle-style stroller nearby, and in the center of the room, a wooden rocking chair sitting completely still. He circles it, gets close, examines it. Nothing moves. A child with dark hair sits at a small table nearby, seemingly absorbed in something on their own. The house feels lived in, ordinary, a normal family home at a late hour. And then this happened. Watch.
Amigos, si supieran que son, yo sé que cual más iba a pensar que son las 3, 4 de la mañana, pero no, son, apenas van a dar las 10 de la noche. Vean cómo se está moviendo la mecedora. Y aquí estamos todos, amigos. Miren que, mira. ¿Ya viste? Agua bendita, sí. Le vamos a echar agua bendita. A su máquina, no me dejo de sorprender. Amigos, yo me siento ahí. Por las tardes yo me siento. O sea, es que es una silla normal. Y esa silla tiene mucha historia, amigos. Creo que tiene la edad de mi hija, ¿verdad?
Un poco más.
¿Más?
Sí.
¿Cómo cuánto? ¿Como 14 años?
Sí, como 14, porque yo llegué y ya estaba.
Amigos, vean. Le voy a echar agua bendita. Bastante cañón. Está bastante cañón, Wow. Miren, amigos, aquí tengo el agua bendita al lado de la muñeca. Pero, perdón, si no grabo bien. Pero aquí a mis hijos no los meto casi. Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Mira, Ceci. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu reino nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas, así como nosotros perdonamos a quien nos ofende. No nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos del mal. Para los que dicen que no tienen nada de efecto el agua bendita, ¿por qué? Ve, Ceci.
Sí, estoy viendo la capa. Siempre nos subimos, ¿no?
Cuando empieza eso es porque pasan algunas cosas, amigos, Está bastante cañón. Qué fuerte. Vamos a subirnos, chicos. Vamos a subirnos. Miren. Vamos a subirnos, chicos, vamos a subirnos. Bastante cañón. Hay que cerrar, chicos. Vamos a ver qué pasa.
With no one near it and no visible cause, the rocking chair begins to rock backward and then forward in a slow, steady rhythm, smooth and unhurried, like it's been doing this for years. The man points directly at it. No one else reacts. A woman walks out of a back room moments later holding the hand of a small girl, and they pass the camera like nothing's wrong, like the chair rocking itself in the dark is just another part of the night. That detail is what gets people. Some viewers immediately thought of residual haunting theory, the idea that certain spaces hold on to energy or movement patterns left behind by someone who spent a great deal of time there, a grandmother rocking quietly in that chair, maybe night after night for decades. Others think it's something more interactive, not a residual echo, but something that's still present and aware of being watched. Skeptics point to the possibility of a thin fishing line, though no jerk or snap is visible in the motion. It rocks the way a chair rocks when someone has just stood up from it. The second clip feels like a continuation of the same night, the same house, the same restless energy. This time, the camera moves through darker, more disorienting spaces. A mirror reflecting a bare bulb and what look like two mannequin heads, decorative masks mounted on a wall, a cluttered staircase with a long shadow stretching across the tiled floor at the bottom. A woman lies face down on a bed under a patterned blanket, a guitar on the wall above her, the room barely lit. She doesn't move. Whoever is holding the camera doesn't disturb her. The camera drifts downstairs into the kitchen area, the beam of light barely cutting through the dark, and then it finds the rocking chair again. Watch closely.
Amigos, estoy escuchando sonidos en la parte de abajo. Como si estuvieran jugando o algo así. Aquí está mi esposa, están mis dos hijos. Y se escucha, amigos, ya son altas horas de la madrugada. La verdad, pues pienso ir a ver, pero la verdad sí me da miedo. Me da miedo, chicos. La neta, pues están todos dormidos. Y la verdad no quiero despertarlos. No quiso prender. Mami. Mira. La risa de mi hija. Hey. No mames, güey.
Still at first, then at around the 2-minute 13-second mark it begins. The same slow, deliberate back and forth motion, no visible person near it, no string, no breeze. The camera holds on it for 15 seconds or so, then abruptly pulls away. What's harder to dismiss the second time is the repetition. A rocking chair moving once could be written off. Settling floorboards, a vibration from elsewhere in the house, a draft from a door, but the same chair. in the same room, moving the same way, captured twice in what appears to be the same night by the same person. That shifts the conversation. Some viewers familiar with Latin American folk traditions have pointed to the concept of an alma en pena, a restless soul that remains tied to a place or an object, unable to move on, often repeating the same routines it carried out in life. Others stay strictly skeptical and argue both clips could be rigged. If you watch these videos repeated live, you'll notice something strange: the consistency of the motion. It doesn't rush, it doesn't jerk. It just rocks like it's waiting for someone to sit back down. What do you think is in that house? And does anyone else in that family know about it? Because whatever it is, it clearly isn't done making itself known.